Hi, novelteers. Have you noticed that most new TV shows and movies aren't that good? There's a reason for that, and it's not just bad writing, even though, yes, that part of it is that the writing is bad. But it's actually bad for a reason. It's not just random bad writing. It shows a fundamental shift on how we tell stories in the modern age, and it's not actually how stories work, so it can't help but be awful. I'm Devlin Blake, novel writing and self-publishing expert, coach, published author, and former ghostwriter of 200 books. Do check out my links in the description below. Now, stories have been around since the beginning of human history, and the basics of them haven't changed all that much. However, fiction stories, as defined by something purposely made up by a single person for the purposes of entertainment and profitability, has only been around about 500 years or so. And in the grand scheme of human history, that's not very long. That's like 7% of all of human history. And commonplace fiction, where it's been in every aspect of our lives the way it is now, has only been around since the 1800s. So we're actually still defining what fiction as an art form actually is. And since it's such a young art form, this of course leads to all kinds of experimentation. But sometimes what we're experimenting with doesn't work, and it's not working for a reason, which is where we are right now in our country's history of the movies it's making. Now, there are two main parts to any story: concept and storytelling. Before the modern age, storytelling came first, concept second, meaning if it didn't fit the story, the concept changed. In the modern age, it seems like concept comes first, meaning if the story doesn't fit the concept, the story changes. And this is a problem, because that's not how stories work at all. When stories do this, what we get is either a very shallow story with no depth, or a story that sounds preachy as it tries to push an agenda on us. Now, don't misunderstand. Stories can totally push agendas. They always have, and they always should. Like the way X-Men, Harry Potter, and the original Star Trek all push the don't be hateful and just accept people agenda. We're talking about Harry Potter, the book. We're not talking about Rowling, by the way. No need to put any of that in the comments because we all know about Rowling right now, but that doesn't change the fact that Harry Potter was still a great book that talks about equality. And if we can separate art from artists, it remains so. But these stories were built with this at their core. They're built with equality at their core. Pretty much every part of the story reflects this. But they aren't being preachy about it. It's integral to the plot. These stories have a concept, but they also have a richness of character and an actual story to be interested in. And the concept itself is so subtle that I've met people who swear that equality and racism isn't what stories like the X-Men and Harry Potter are really about. Now, many modern shows want to spoon-feed their audience the concept so much that it ruins the story. The audience isn't given a chance to notice anything on their own, and that makes the story flat and boring. This is what you need to keep in mind when you're writing your story. Story first, concept second. Your stories and characters aren't just a way to push an agenda or show off a cool concept. They deserve a life and world of their own, where the concept is just part of it and not the whole thing. Your audience deserves that too, and in fact, your audience is going to love you for that, because while there are more entertainment options than ever before in all of human history, most of them aren't very interesting options. But once you understand how to truly tell a story, your readers are going to love you. After all, there's a lot of choices, but no real quality choices. So that's going to make you stand out. And if you need help telling the story, check out my Novel Writers Club at the link below. Also, remember to like and subscribe to see more videos on writing and publishing your novel. Until next time, this is Devlin Blake saying right on.